Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Houston.
Tonight, the Astros start a 3-game set against the Cincinnati Reds. Fernando Abad gets his second career start as he tries to slow down the powerful Reds lineup. Cincinnati is coming off a sweep in Arizona and has a firm lead in the Central Division. So get up, fans. It's time to jam. Astros baseball is next on Fox Sports Houston. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight, the Astros open a 3-game weekend series against the first-place Cincinnati Reds. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies. The Astros try to derail the Reds this weekend, and a lot of talent will be on this field this weekend, JD.
Yeah, and we're going to focus at the second base position tonight. Two very good second basemen. Brandon Phillips, he's kind of the gold standard in the National League, having another outstanding year. You see the same batting average. Phillips with more power, 15 bombs. He's driven in 70, the most of all a National League second baseman. Altuve, he's doing his thing as well. 5 home runs, 33 RBIs. He leads all second basemen in hits, and both guys can really flash the leather.
So we'll see if their bats are working tonight, along with Jimmy Paredes and his Astros teammates. Matt Dominguez coming off a 3-hit performance last night against San Francisco. Lineups in the first pitch come your way next. From Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, it's the first of 3 with the Cincinnati Reds and the Houston Astros. Fans coming into this ballpark, and it's Shane Reynolds night. He'll be joining us along the way in the second inning tonight as the Astros meet their longtime rival Cincinnati Reds. The Reds come in with 80 wins, 52 losses. They have an 8.5 game lead coming into play today. Ground rules being discussed there at home plate with Red skipper Dusty Baker and Tony DeFrancesco of the Astros. The Astros wearing the blue and gold uniforms tonight on a flashback Friday. Shane Reynolds throwing out the first pitch after he was inducted earlier today into the Astros Walk of Fame, unveiling his plaque on the sidewalk out along Texas Avenue. And they are ready to take the field against a club which really got a great start on this road trip. The Reds swept Arizona before coming here, having an off day yesterday. They have zipped through the month of August, winning 18, losing 11. They're the first major league club to notch 80 wins this season. And the Astros, trying to snap their 5-game losing streak, take the field and playing close games but falling just short. They were swept in the San Francisco series, losing 8-4 last night after dropping a 6-4 win Wednesday night and then 3-2 in the opener of that series. Fernando Abad will be making his second start as a member of the Houston Astros. Here's the Hyundai lineup for Dusty Baker. Abad will be facing Zach Cozart, a Rookie of the Year candidate, at shortstop. Chris Heisey's in center field. Brandon Phillips at second base. Ryan Ludwig in left field. Jay Bruce in right field. Todd Frazier, a strong Rookie of the Year candidate, at first base. Scott Rowland at third base. Deanna Navarro the catcher, and Mike Leake the pitcher.
And it's lefty Fernando Abad for the Astros tonight, making his second big league start. And Saturday against the Mets, he pitched 4 innings, allowed 4 hits, 1 run, walked 4, struck out 2. After making 3 starts down in the minor leagues to get stretched out after spending the year and most of his career as a reliever, certainly his major league career, all as a reliever prior to that start. Defensively, he has Martinez, Barnes, and Paredes in the outfield, and infield of Dominguez, Green, Altuve, who made a sparkling play last night. Brett Wallace is over there at first base, and Jason Castro is behind the plate.
Well, JD, from what we understand, Joey Votto will be returning to the Reds tomorrow night. He's been rehabbing in Dayton from a knee injury, and then he had complications coming back after surgery. But the Reds have not missed a beat. In fact, they have picked up the pace since Votto went down. And here are 2 of the reasons: Ryan Ludwig and Todd Frazier.
Yeah, Ryan Ludwig really having a nice year in the middle of that Reds lineup. Todd Frazier, an outstanding rookie season. You talked about Cozart being a Rookie of the Year candidate. Todd Frazier as well. Brandon Phillips has really picked it up since the All-Star break. It's a very difficult team to beat right now. In all facets of the game, they are solid. Starting pitching, bullpen, defense. They slug and they steal bases.
That's the challenge for the Astros. Abad ready to go to work. Cozart in the batter's box. Third baseman Dominguez creeping in. And it is strike one call. Sam Holbrook is the home plate umpire. Cozart, with a fine year underway, has scored 67 runs. He's driven in 30, and he's hit 14 homers. Abad missing there. Goes to a 1-1 count with Heisey on deck. The Reds are 7-2 against the Astros this season. They'll be meeting again in a few days in Cincinnati. Ground ball. Dominguez is out number 1 for Abad.
It could be a busy night for Dominguez down there at third base with Abad on the mound. Fastball, changeup, curveball, predominantly right-handed hitting lineup for the Reds here this evening. And if he's on his game, he'll have them hitting the ball on the ground to the left side. He is more of a fly ball pitcher, however. Fastball, curveball, changeup, as I mentioned. Changeup probably the best pitch for Fernando. And even though he was only charged with 1 run in that start in New York, his command was not very good.
Chris Heisey's the batter. Missed the target there, but he got strike 1 call on Heisey, a .282 hitter with 6 homers. 27 runs batted in for Heisey. Heisey had a big 2-home run game in Arizona on Wednesday. That was his 4th career multi-home run game. Takes that breaking ball, and it's a 1-ball 1-strike count to Heisey. Playing center field tonight. He can play all 3 of the outfield spots. Drew Stubbs not getting the start on this occasion. Heisey's hit .407 in his last 11 games. Fouling that one back, it's a 1-2 count. Fernando Abad gave up, as JD mentioned, just 1 run in 4 innings, walked 4, fanned 2. And the run scored on a little dribbler up the first base line by Mets pitcher R.A. Dickey when Abad and catcher Jason Castro ran into each other. He gets a pop-up, and he goes back, but now Dominguez is right there as he catches it. Dominguez couldn't get there, and Abad stayed right underneath it for out number 2.
I think ultimately Dominguez would have been able to make a play on that ball, but it wasn't in the air for very long, so it's a tough one if you're the pitcher to give way on. You know, you see that ball out over your head. Normally you want to yield to an infielder. All's well that ends well. Good pitch, got that heater in. That's a big key for him. The ability to work both sides of the plate with the fastball to set up the soft stuff away.
Brandon Phillips is having another outstanding year. 297, 15 homers, 70 runs batted in for Phillips. He's on a 9-game hitting streak right now. He leads all Major League second basemen in runs batted in. That's a little upstairs, and it's ball 1 to Phillips. Phillips, since the All-Star break, has hit .329. Started hitting third when Votto went on the disabled list with that knee injury, and that's worked well for Dusty Baker. That loops in for a strike, and it's 1-1 for Abad. The Reds have gone 30-14 since that Votto injury, and they have averaged 4.6 runs per game. Prior to that, they were averaging about a half run less per game. That one's fouled. 1-2 for Abad. The Astros last night had the lead over the Giants. They fired out to a 4-0 advantage after 3. Jordan Lyles went 5, giving up 3 runs, and then the bullpen failed to hold on to that, and the Astros did not add to their lead after the 3rd inning. The Giants scored the final 8 runs in the game. Bouncer up the middle. Abad fell off a little bit toward third base, reached back but couldn't put leather on it, and Phillips has a 10-game hitting streak.
And last week he's hitting about .440, so no surprise to see Brandon Phillips reach base with another base hit. He stayed back on this breaking ball and just pings it right back through the middle of the diamond. He is a threat to steal. He's got 11 bags. He's been caught once. Not running as much as he has in past years, but certainly a threat.
Ryan Ludwig has just been ripping the ball. 275, 25 homers, 71 runs batted in for Ludwig. Since the All-Star break, he's in the top 5 in the National League in homers and runs batted in with 13 and 37 respectively. Infield shift is on. He hits it in the air, and this pop-up will bring in Brett Wallace over into foul territory. So Abad has a successful first inning, and in just a moment Mike Leake will throw his first pitch. Tony DeFrancesco. Jose Altuve leads it off at second base. Tyler Green plays shortstop. The number 3 hitter is first baseman Brett Wallace. The cleanup man is catcher Jason Castro. Jimmy Paredes is the right fielder with Fernando Martinez in left. Matt Dominguez starts at third base. It's center fielder Brandon Barnes hitting 8th. Fernando Abad batting 9th.
Astros look at Mike Leake for the 4th time this year overall in his career. He's made 8 starts. He's 4-4 with a 3.86. 24-year-old right-hander. He'll sink it, he'll cut it, he'll curve it, he'll slide it, he'll change it. Now the only thing he won't do is throw it by you. He's not an overpowering guy, but he's a crafty right-hander.
A lot to choose from there for Mr. Leake. There's a shot on the ground and a good play by Frazier. Frazier takes it for out number 1. It's going to be tough to have him on the bench, but that's the plan. When Joey Votto comes back tomorrow night, Frazier will be a backup at first and a backup at third.
Well, he's been a big part of it for the Reds this year, spelling first Scott Rowland when he was hurt, and now Votto. Defensively, the Reds are very, very good. The outfield is Ludwig, Heisey, and Bruce. Bruce with a cannon out there in right field. Scott Rowland, multiple Gold Gloves. To his credit, Cozart and Phillips solid up the middle. And you saw Frazier over there at first. The catcher is Deanna Navarro. He's new to the mix.
Yes, he is. Strike 1 to Tyler Green, who homered last night. And this one goes to right field. That's where he hit his long ball last night. Jay Bruce out of room, off the wall, and into second base, cruising Tyler Green with a double. So Green showing his opposite field power again as he did last night.
Yeah, it's nice to see because he gets into funk sometimes where he pulls off the ball. You've seen him, struggle with sliders away, and obviously, if you're willing to shoot the ball the other way, you're better equipped to handle that breaking pitch. And I think for a young player or a new player to the Astros, you can get a little bit obsessed with the Crawford boxes because they're so short, and not realize it doesn't take a whole lot to get out of here straightaway right field either. And he certainly has enough pop in his bat to do that.
He just put it on display again. With his 13th double, he's in scoring position for Brad Wallace. Wallace at 289 with 6 homers has driven in 13. He went 5 for 12 in the San Francisco series. Bouncing that one foul. There's strike 1 to Wallace. Wallace is 2 for 5 lifetime against Mike Leake.
And this year, Leake is 2-1 against the Astros with a 2.89 ERA.
Lost a game in Cincinnati in late April. He beat Jay Happ here in early June. That was a good one. 7 innings, 1 run in that one. It's 1-1. Here's a different kind of a stat on Mike Leake. JD, with runners in scoring position, his ERA is 12.69.
Stands to reason that his ERA would be higher with runners in scoring position than not.
True. But 12.69?
Pretty high, huh?
I would think so. 2 balls and a strike. We don't see that stat a lot, so don't have a real basis for comparison, but it sounds stratospheric.
By golly, we're going to find it.
Okay.
You've set the bar pretty high this early in the game.
We'll just divert right off the bat here and get into some minutia. In tight, and it's 3 balls and a strike to Brett Wallace. Chance for the Astros to take the lead here for Abad in the early going. Leake since the All-Star breaks 3-2 with a 5.43 ERA. Missing his spot there, he walks Wallace and has runners at first and second for Jason Castro with 1 out. 33rd walk for Leake in his 152nd inning. Now Castro has been hitting cleanup a little bit lately for the first time this year until a few days ago. 259, 2 homers, 22 runs batted in. He gets another shot to drive in runs in the first inning of a game. Last night he had an RBI double his first time up. Jason went 2 for 7 in the Giants series. This is his 3rd straight start as the cleanup man, and he looks at ball 1. And the Astros have used a myriad of hitters in just about every position in the order, including cleanup this year. Different cleanup men.
Change up there from Leake. A real good weapon for him against left-handed hitters. And if he's convinced that you're aware of that off-speed stuff down, he'll throw that cutter in. And Mike Leake is yielding a .264 batting average with runners in scoring position. That's not horrible.
No. Overall, .285. Tony D hoping for early run support here in this one. Astros have blown a couple of 4-0 leads in losses the last couple of weeks. That's a 2-ball 1-strike count. The Reds are in very good shape for pitching. Second in the league in ERA currently. They have the best bullpen in the National League. Anchored by the closer, Aroldis Chapman. That's pull, and Frazier knocks it down. He'll get the out at first. Out number 2 with runners advancing. Green to third, Wallace to second.
Big early opportunity now for Jimmy Paredes. Just a handful of at bats since being called up from AAA. Not a bad swing here at all by Castro. Went right at Frazier.
If he had fielded it cleanly, could have had a double play, but the Astros get this shot with Paredes now. Jimmy's driven in a couple. 200 batting average for Jimmy, and he's had 10 at bats, 7 of those as a left-handed hitter. We'll see if Mr. Leake tries to get him to go fishing. Redis, an aggressive hitter. Fernando Martinez on deck.
But Jimmy doesn't see a lot of pitches. See ball, hit ball is his philosophy. Here he goes.
Sure does. Foul ball, strike 1.
That's something he's going to have to tighten up, or these big league pitchers will really take advantage of that free swinging approach.
They do.
And, there's certain guys come to the big leagues and they're free swingers and they end up having good long careers, but you got to show a little bit of discipline to get some pitches to swing at.
Exactly. They'll just keep widening that strike zone on a hitter. No balls, 2 strikes here for Mike Leake.
Comes back to the changeup inside this time.
Leake with 6 wins and 8 losses after a season in which he went 12-9 last year. 3.86 was his ERA a year ago. And he gets a strikeout to get out of first inning trouble with no runs a hit, 2 men stranded, no score after 1. He got his own plaque on the Astros Walk of Fame. Jordan Lyles caught It's a Strike. It's always a strike with Shane Reynolds. He was a strike-throwing machine, JD.
Is that a splitter?
Split finger. I told a buddy of mine, he asked me, I said, yeah, I hope he can catch it. I don't short hop him, but I'm going to throw a split finger.
Great to have you back.
Still a little action on it.
Nice to be back. It's awesome. Of course, you know, y'all love the field, I know, as much as I love the field. And whenever I can get back, it's a wonderful time at the yard.
Yeah, you know it. Strike one to Jay Bruce, power hitting outfielder from Beaumont, Texas. Shane would throw him a splitter. I don't think he'd throw it early in the count. How would you work this guy, Shane?
Hey, first, he's going to get a two-seamer away. If he wants to offer at it, go ahead. If he wants to try to hit one in the Crawford boxes, he can try it. If he does, it's only one pitch, and I've only used one pitch.
Yep.
We had to score to win anyway, right?
That's right.
Yep.
And he's not going to try to hit it in the Crawford boxes. He's all about pull.
Exactly. So what do, Jimbo? You get a strike, right? He takes it. You can throw another one if you want to.
And then you'll just roll over and ground out to second base.
And if not, split finger. No, y'all know as well as I do, it never worked that easy.
Got to have a plan, though.
But it was fun at times.
Infield shift is on. Tyler Green. Shane, as you watch the game today, we see more defensive positioning extremes than we. Do you like what you're seeing in that?
You know, I think that's part of the game. I think it's evolved to that. I think it's good. I think a manager took an approach to where, you know, hey, this is his power, and he's going to try to do that. Why not just put it over here? Well, you remember Atlanta Braves? How many times did we play them, and what did they do? Pitch away and play away. How many times did we hit line drives into the right center field gap against a right-handed pitcher, and who was standing there?
Yeah, Andrew Jones.
Out.
Right there.
And the guy that hit it, whether it's Biggio, Bagwell, Billy Spires, Moses Alou, they're like, what's he doing playing there?
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna play you, you know, to right and pitch you out there. They're not trying to pitch you in. But getting back to your question, I think it works, you know.
Seems to.
They're doing it again here for Frazier. Now, you've got a son that's playing, right?
Yeah.
Has this filtered down? Is there more shifting going on in the younger ages? Or no, it's pretty...
Not yet. The only thing we do if we're behind in the last inning with, you know, a guy on base, scoring position or whatever, we'll play with two outfielders and bring an infielder in and put him on second. Yeah.
Well, Pam was here today, and your parents, and now this is a big football night for your son, right?
Big night. Y'all don't understand. It's unbelievable to be here and have this happen for me tonight. I can't miss when he plays baseball, football, practice. It doesn't matter. I have to be there and I have to watch, and it killed me. I was really pleased that Pam came. She wasn't going to miss it. Matter of fact, we've been married 24 years this month, and she wanted to come and be here for the Walk of Fame, and then she had to get back. He was playing first year in high school. He's freshman, so it was a freshman game. It was at 4:30. Couldn't make it, but they won. Matter of fact, so it was good.
A good report. Well, as you reflect back on your career, an outstanding career with the Astros, you talked about those games with the Braves. Those were memorable to a lot of Astros and Braves fans. That was something that probably really sticks in your mind now.
Oh, no doubt. Yes, a lot of those games and situations that you just used to cringe about. Now you wish you could be out there in the situation again. You know.
Yeah.
You miss it. I mean, JD.
Hey, Skeeters might be hiring, man. I mean, there's another former Longhorn that's doing it.
I know.
You're in pretty good shape, buddy, I think.
Yeah, but he's one of those Nolan Ryan freaking natures. I mean, come on. The guy went to see Andrews, and he's got a 30-year-old arm.
Yeah.
He's going to be throwing 90 to 92, by the time he gets here within 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, really? I mean, he is?
Yeah.
He's 88, 89 now. He gets, 5 or 6 more innings in him, and he's 90.
Yeah.
And you know as well as I do, JD. I mean, he's a perfectionist, and he's a professional. He can get guys out up here at 88.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he'll definitely get them out at 90 and above.
Yeah.
Split finger's still good. His pitches will get sharper. Yeah, he'll be perfectly fine.
Well, Shane, you always prided yourself, and you worked very, very hard on physical conditioning. And it probably was a source of pride also for you when you got to the end of your career and you look back. You did everything you could possibly do, right?
I did. Todd Jones, a very, very good friend of mine, was drafted in the same year. He made a comment one time that He goes, you at the end of your career, you will have no regrets whatsoever. You can never say, well, if I'd have just maybe practiced a little bit harder, I could have been better or whatever. And that kind of stuck with me. And I'm like, yeah, but kind of two ways. I think honestly, the back surgery, 5 knee surgeries, the arm, I won't put that in there, but the back surgery and knee surgery, I think sometimes I did too much. Because honestly, Gene Coleman and I would talk about it. We'd be sitting there, and on the days that I pitched, sometimes we felt like that was the off day.
Oh.
Because,
so much going on in between.
Yeah, well, we ran a lot. We did the weights. But I also felt like I had to have that to compete with these guys up here because I didn't throw, 90 miles an hour and have all that nasty stuff. So, I don't know. But if I had to do it again, would I do the same thing? I think I would.
Probably, yeah, because you wouldn't want to second guess yourself.
Right.
Altuve with a flip. And there's Green, the middleman, 4-6-3 double play, just the way Shane Reynolds did it. We'll be back to Shane in just a moment. Inducted into the Walk of Fame in this initial season for that award, and then that does not include all the people whose uniform numbers were retired. They were automatically in. Shane, 103.86, a 3.95 ERA, 20 complete games, an All-Star in 2000. Very nice career with the Astros, and he's with us here in a scoreless game as Fernando Martinez fouls it back, strike one. And you think about a lot of things. You think about the games with the Braves. You think about your teammates, the Mike Hamptons, the Jose Limas. That was a good run right there.
Awesome times. I had somebody ask me, matter of fact, today, that when you first started, how was it? I said, well, to be honest with you, we kind of struggled. We weren't that good. I said, but we had some young players coming up. We had Biggio, and you had the Caminettis and Gonzos, and we got Bagwell, in 90, 91, and he was kind of fitting in, and next thing you know, we just kind of boom. 94. If we wouldn't have that strike, we were pretty.
Yeah, you guys are right there.
I mean, look at Baggy. That could be some of the best numbers ever for a MVP. And he missed 50 games.
They're right. Right.
So, it took 3 or 4 years. We got the Draybeck and Swindell veteran guys, and we kind of just eased along until we got 4 or 5 years, and boom, we start winning after that every year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's going to happen here. I think Jim Crane is going to do the right thing. If people can just hang in there and support it, then he's going to build the minor league system up to where it needs to be, where it used to be. We're going to have good players, and you're going to be back to winning again. It's just going to take time.
Right. Well, you get the right core group, and you move that group along together, and that really helps, doesn't it?
Completely. You have to. When those guys get along and play well together, it sure makes for a good season. You got to have that leader too.
Yes. Dominguez with a line shot is caught on the run by Jay Bruce. 2 outs. Yeah, that's something that's going to be interesting to watch with this bunch.
Who's going to be
the leader? Yeah.
Who's going to be that leader? You know. Plus, you got to have one that leads. You know, is going to be able to lead that team well too. You know.
Mm-hmm. Manager's choice is going to be critical to find that kind of a teacher and a patient guy, isn't it?
Yep. And we had, you know, I mean, we really had 2 or 3 good ones. You know, really. I mean, Vigil and Bagwell and Moises Alou was, you know, led by example, a veteran guy. I mean, he was awesome, you know, to play with and look up to and watch play on a daily basis and how they played the game. It helped us young players tremendously. And I think you have to have that. You know,
that
Scott
98
Rowlands
club was.
Oh yeah. It didn't hurt getting Randy Johnson halfway.
That's what I mean. That finished product when that team was all put together at the end of the year, that was unbelievable.
Was that the biggest disappointment that club didn't go further?
I think so. You always get asked what was your finest moment or the best memory or what, and you know. A lot of those came in that 1998 season. Now, if somebody was to ask what was your worst, you know, I would have to say, how did we not win there? Mm-hmm. Look what we had and look what we did. I mean, and it just come down to, you know, we just got beat. I mean, it was a good team, good pitching. We had good pitching. They had good pitching. It was a good ball game. It didn't work out. But I mean, that's why you play the game. That's why you play 162 of them.
3-2 to Brandon Barnes.
Trying to put that 98 rotation. There's you and Randy, Hampy, Lima.
Was Holty there? Chris Holt?
That's what I'm trying to remember.
That one rolls to the right side. A hit for Barnes. He found an opening right off the end of the bat.
It's funny though when you look back how it's. You know, they're guys you remember playing with guys, but you're not. I can't remember if he was there on that particular year, and you know, especially when it has as many good runs, many playoff runs as you guys had.
Maybe Sean Berkman, at least part of that year, Shane.
Yeah, definitely. He was in the rotation and in the pen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Shot Ellerton.
Oh, Ellie, yeah.
No, he was in the pen though.
Ellie was in the pen, yeah.
Boy, did he have a good year. He came out of the pen and pitched 2 innings almost every other day.
Games were over after the.
And Wagner, he had Ellerton and Wagner.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Wagner the other day.
Did you?
Kids were playing in a tournament. That's the first time I've seen him in probably 6 years.
How'd he look?
Exactly the same.
Good.
I guarantee you he could throw 100.
Oh yeah.
He's coming back in mid-September for the big reunion.
Where
can't
did
wait
you see
to see
him?
him.
Where was it locally?
No, in a perfect game in Georgia.
Oh, there's a shot up the middle, and Abad is going to get a hit on this.
A good hitting pitcher. There we go.
How about that? That's a moment for Fernando Abad.
Is that his first career hit?
That is number 1.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Well, not only do you get the pitcher up in the inning after the single by Barnes, but now the pitcher does something.
And you know, so many times you just concerned with getting that spot in the lineup cleared, but now you got Altuve up there, who's been the best hitter all year long, got a chance to put a run on the board.
This guy's been fun to watch, Shane. Altuve.
He is a good player. It might be your little spark plug.
Gives it everything he's got every night.
The dude can hit too.
Goes hard with the toss. Shane Reynolds, thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations on the Walk of Fame honors today.
Thanks
Good
for having me,
you.
guys. It's been awesome.
Thanks for coming up.
Awesome. Thanks, JD.
Great.
before the 6:05 game against the Reds, as 10,000 fans will receive a Jeff Kent Greatest Moments bobblehead presented by the Methodist Hospital System. The bobblehead commemorates his 2004 Game 5 NLCS walk-off home run. Root now and buy tickets at Astros.com. Bill?
That's before we knew he was going to be on Survivor, Patty.
Yes. How could we know?
It's hard to know something like that, but he'll be making an appearance.
That's kind of a surprise, don't you think?
I think so. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Patty and I were just having a sandwich before the game, JD.
Yeah. You picture one? I don't know. I think JK on Survivor makes sense. Kind of rugged individualist.
Now, if you're on Survivor, do you have to communicate with the other people?
I don't know. I haven't really seen that show. I think when it first was kind of a phenomenon, I watched a couple episodes of it. I haven't really seen it since.
That show's been on for what, 10 years?
A good long while.
Deanna Navarro leads it off in the third inning. Scoreless game, 222 for Navarro, who came up with the Yankees. 2 homers, 5 runs batted in. He's had 18 at-bats. So he's made very good use of that amount of playing time. There's ball 1 to him. Ryan Hannigan does most of the catching for the Reds, and he's a very good one. Devin Mesoraco has been in and out with an injury and a 2-game suspension. On the 8th inning Wednesday night at Arizona against his former club, Navarro snapped a 2-2 tie with a homer off a lefty, and now he bangs out a line drive headed for left center field. That one hops to the bullpen wall. Extra bases for Navarro. He's in with a leadoff 2-bagger.
Looked like a changeup that ran in a little bit. That's always a dangerous pitch from a left-handed pitcher to a right-handed hitter.
Mike Leake is very good with the bat. He has 14 hits, a .269 average, including 2 homers and 2 doubles. He has 5 sacrifice bunts. The Astros are expecting a bunt try.
Yeah, you have to anticipate it, play for it, but you can't be sure of it because he is such a good hitter. 41 hits over the last 3 years, the most of any pitcher in the big leagues.
Has 3 2-hit games this year. Takes that one for ball 1.
Right off that breaking ball now, Dusty Baker may give him a swing. 1 ball, no strikes. May anticipate Abad channeling a fastball here, and they might turn him loose.
Swinging away. 1-1 to Leake. From Arizona State, a first-round draft choice. He made it very quickly to the big leagues.
Got his fastball. He got his free swing, but he came up empty, and he may have the bunt back on.
Leake started right out in professional ball as a major leaguer. He bunts, and Abad rose to Altuve. Sacrifice. 1-4. Navarro to third, 1 out. Leake has advanced the runner to third for Zach Cozart.
Abad walking that fine line there. Don't panic. Don't be in too big of a hurry, but don't take too much time because Leake's a really good athlete, better than most pitchers, so he gets down that line pretty well.
Now the infield comes in here in a scoreless game in the third inning. Cozart grounded to third to open the game. There is strike 1. A slow runner at third base will help the Astros on certain balls hit to the infield. That's a foul ball, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. Cozart leads National League rookies in hits with 124, and in total bases and extra base hits.
A situation here with one out, normally you would put the contact play on. You tell your runner at third base, as soon as the ball's hit on, if you know it's only going to go, you're going on contact. But Navarro being as slow as he is, they may have said, let's just make sure the ball gets through.
Blocked by Castro, and it's 1-2. Joe West, the umpire at third. He's the crew chief. Cozart's 14 homers are the most by a Reds rookie shortstop in their history. They're the most by a major league rookie shortstop since Troy Tulowitzki hit 24 in 07. Fouls that one back. Still a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
That was fun to have Shane Reynolds up here.
Oh, yeah.
Very energetic and obviously still very engaged with the game with his son. And a great story about he bumping into Wags over there in Georgia.
Wags is among those Astros who are coming back for that big weekend in mid-September, and there's some big names. There's a drive to left field, and that one will reach the seats for a 2-run homer for Cozart. Number 15 for Cozart, giving him 32 runs batted in and a 2-0 Reds lead. Cozart lifting the 1-2 pitch to the Landry's Crawford boxes and left.
Home run has been an issue for Abad in his career. Early in the year in Cincinnati, he gave up 3, I think, 2 relief appearances. This is just a bad breaking ball. What Shane, as a matter of fact, used to refer to as an elephant's butt.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, high and stinky.
Okay.
Doesn't work well with curveballs and changeups.
2-0, and now here's Heisey missing a bunt try, and there's strike 1 to Heisey. Quite a rookie year for Zach Cozart from the University of Mississippi. It's 1-1 to Heisey. Reds bring a lot of thunder. They're second in the league in homers. That's number 155 for the season for them. They're 6th in runs scored, 4th in total bases. That's on the right side of the infield. Wallace drifting back. 2 down. Brandon Phillips will follow. Phillips singled up the middle in the first inning. Abad was in the Astros bullpen. Then he went to Oklahoma City and was stretched out as a starter, coming right back to make his first start against R.A. Dickey last Saturday in New York. Now this is number 2. He spent some time on the disabled list late May, early June with an oblique injury. And he gave up back-to-back long balls in Cincinnati, April 27th, to Jay Bruce and Devin Mesoraco. Phillips looks at ball 1. Right-handed hitters are hitting .339 against Abad. It's a good pitch. 1-1. That's the pitch that Tony DeFrancesco was talking about with the media before the game tonight regarding the Astros relievers. He said just command that fastball low and away. That's really what we're working on.
Yeah, sometimes pitchers, we get a little complicated in our approach, get consumed with trying to fool hitters. I'm going to set them up with this and then come here, but sometimes it makes sense just to go back to basics. A good down and away fastball where a guy might punch a single the other way. But if you execute that pitch, probably going to have a lot of success. There are guys that can go out there and hammer that ball, or guys that can hook it.
Well, he hooked that one into the left field corner past the diving Dominguez. Phillips is 2 for 2 in this game. He winds up with double number 29 of the season.
The home run came on a high curveball. This was an off-speed pitch, either a curveball or a changeup. Stayed up a little bit and on the plate. Phillips is on quite a tear, though. He's tough for anybody to get out right now.
That's 5 hits for Cincinnati in this game. Phillips 2 for 2, and Ludwig is the batter. 29 doubles for him. Navarro doubled to start this inning. Ludwig fouled out to first his first time up. Former St. Louis Cardinal, returning to top form this year. Swings at that in the dirt. And there's strike one to Ludwig. Ludwig has been locked in with men in scoring position with 17 hits in his last 42 at bats for a .405 average. The Reds will go back after this weekend for a 9-game homestand at Great American Ballpark, and the Astros will be there for 3 of those 9 games. The Reds are a good road team, though. They're 38-28. 0-2, and on the road since the All-Star break, they're 16-5.
Chasing the curveball out of the zone, and then looking at a fastball right through the heart of the strike zone. Probably figured after that first curveball, well, they got a base open, they're going to pitch around me. And they'll throw a heater right there for him.
It's a good block by Castro. And some nice lateral movement.
Curveball, fastball, now changeup.
Jay Bruce is on deck with Phillips the runner at second and a 2-0 Reds lead. Washington's in front of St. Louis 6-0, bottom of the 5th in Washington. Gio Gonzalez on the mound. Another low one. It's 2-2.
Not a bad idea here to try to get Ludwig to chase. Even if you ended up walking him, continue to work down and out of the zone, get him to chase. That would be fine. You know, if he shows enough discipline to go ahead and work the walk, then you start fresh with a left-handed hitter, albeit a very dangerous one.
Yeah. Nationals are torching Adam Wainwright tonight. He's out of the game after 2 2/3, allowing 9 hits and 6 earned runs. That's another ball, and it's a full count. The Cardinal Club is 8.5 behind the Reds in second place in the NL Central, with a 3-game losing streak for St. Louis.
Dusty Baker's on easy street with this comfortable lead.
He really is.
Start to do the math, you know, the old well, if the Reds play 500 ball the rest of the way, what are the teams behind them going to have to do? And it would be pretty daunting for those teams trying to chase down the Reds.
Very much so. They still have 30 games to play. There's a walk to Ludwig. If they win half of those 30, they have 95 wins.
Yeah. They would have to just crater. Although we saw some cratering last year in Major League Baseball, setting up that dramatic final day, and everything was going crazy.
Yeah, we thought we were on the surface of the moon with all that cratering last year. There's the 8.5 game edge, and then Pittsburgh is just a half game behind St. Louis. St. Louis is in the second wild card position, 3 behind Atlanta. Pittsburgh 3.5 back. So still very much up for grabs for that second wild card spot. Doug Brocale talks it over with Fernando Abad.
And again, he ended up walking Ludwig there after being ahead of him, but I don't, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I'd rather do that than throw him a cookie the way he's been swinging it.
It was very humid and warm out today.
Oh my goodness. It was brutal, wasn't it?
It was very bad, yeah. Infield shift is on for Jay Bruce. More humid, they say, because of all the activity that's been in the Gulf in recent days. It's ball 1 to Bruce. He popped up in the second inning. Abad, 26 years old. He's known only one organization in his career. Signed as a free agent with the Astros in 2002. Astros announced some changes in the front office today. That's a strike, and it's a 1-1 count. They've added 2 new members to the baseball operations staff, and they've promoted a current staff member, according to the release. General Manager Jeff Luhnow announcing that Oz Ocampo has been named Director of International, and Kevin Goldstein, Pro Scouting Coordinator. Stephanie Woka has been promoted. This one gets away from Castro. He will not make a throw. Runners advancing on a wild pitch. Phillips to third, Ludwig to second.
That breaking ball spiked way out in front of home plate. Would have been very difficult to do any more than Jason did there. He got dinged a little bit. Sam Holbrook, the home plate umpire, checking in, making sure everybody's ready to go.
Well, the wild pitch count has been way up there for the Astros staff this season, second in the National League to Colorado in throwing wild pitches.
Wild pitches are charged, of course, to the pitchers. Pass balls go on the record of the catchers, but the catchers bear a fair bit of the responsibility on the wild pitches too. The ball in the dirt that the catcher can't keep in front and base runners move up. There's been a bunch of those this year where extra bases have been given that should not have been.
That's a walk to load the sacks as Bruce accepts walk number 2 in a row from Abad, bringing up Frazier.
Yeah, pitching around Ludwig there was okay if you were going to be aggressive in going after the left-handed hitting Bruce. Bruce showing some patience, working the walk. And now he's got to get Frazier. And somebody's going to start tossing in the Astros bullpen.
8 of the last 9 pitches have been balls. Frazier singled to center field in the second inning. He wraps this one on a line, and Barnes is over into left center for the catch. And the Reds go to work with 2 runs on 3 hits. They leave the bases loaded. They're up 2-0.
Cancer history. In August 31st of 2004, Astros won their 5th straight to creep back within 3 games of the National League wildcard lead. Jeff Kent goes deep twice. Carlos Beltran, Jeff Bagwell, and Lance Berkman go back to back to beat the Reds. Wow, just remembering those names. What an offensive team the Astros had at that point in 2004. This, of course, also the historic date that in 1987 Dave Bresnahan threw that potato into left field trying to pick off a runner in a minor league game.
Oh, yeah.
He got fined by manager Orlando Gomez, thrown out of the game, and released the next day.
Yeah. Tyler Green rips one foul.
These guys had no sense of humor.
No, they didn't.
No balls, 2 strikes to Tyler. He doubled to right field in the first inning. Baltimore is taking a run at the Yankees, leading 4-0 in the middle of the 7th at Yankee Stadium with Miguel Gonzalez on the mound. Mark Reynolds has hit his 13th. J.J. Hardy is 18th. Green chased the high heater, and Leake gets strikeout number 2.
I have to rescind my comments earlier about Leake not being a guy who's going to blow you away with his fastball. If you chase it up there, he will.
Yeah.
We were talking with Shane about the 98 club. So Shane, Lima, Hampton, Sean Bergman, Randy Johnson, Pete Shurik made 15 starts that year.
Okay.
Ellie made a couple starts. John Halama made 6 starts.
Okay. Patched it together out of that spot then in the rotation. Ball 1 to Brett Wallace. That one with movement comes into the strike zone. It's a 1-1 count. If Baltimore beats the Yankees tonight, the Orioles are only 2 games out of first.
Buckyball. It's alive and well in Baltimore.
Oh yeah, they're having a good
4-0 lead right now.
If they get that kind of pitching, it should be interesting. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Detroit needs to take a run at the White Sox and leads currently over Chicago 4-3 after 5 in Detroit in a big weekend series. Tigers trail by 3 games and they've lost 3 in a row.
We've been talking a lot in recent weeks about run differential and how we kind of could see the rise of the Cardinals because they have the best run differential in the National League. Baltimore just the opposite. They've actually been outscored by 44 runs this year.
Really?
Yeah, they've won a ton of 1-run games. You know, whether that's Buck just being really good in the late innings or a fair bit of good luck, combination of both, I'm not sure, but
whatever the reason, it adds up to a 24-6 1-run record. Well, nobody's close to that.
No, that's mostly luck.
Wallace goes up the ladder and fouls it back. Leake riding that fastball up as he did on Tyler Green with 2 strikes in the count, but Brett was able to get some wood on it. Cardinals are in a drought. They've only scored 1 run in the last 3 games plus. And there's a strikeout. That's number 3 for Leake.
Soft breaking ball. You see the rotation down below the knees. Brett with a little smirk on his face before he even finished the swing. Can't believe I fell for that again.
Yeah. Jason Castro grounded to first in the first inning. The Mets, behind the combination of R.A. Dickey and Ike Davis, lead Miami 3-0 bottom of the 8th. Scott Rowland watches this one drift out of play. Strike to Castro. We are not televising the game tomorrow night. Another night off. College football's in the focus here on Fox Sports Houston, so we'll be back Sunday.
Homer, get used to this schedule, Brownie.
Oh, yes. 1-1. Yeah, it'll take some getting used to, but actually we have no more Saturday telecasts this season because of college football every Saturday, so that's easy to remember. But we'll miss Homer Bailey and Lucas Harrell tomorrow night, so a good opportunity for people to come out to the ballpark and see that matchup, which starts at 6:05. Listen on Astros radio with Milo Hamilton and Brett Dolan and Dave Raymond. There's a liner up the right field line, and that goes foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and we've had special guests on Astros radio in the You Make the Call Radio Apprentice contest. That continues tonight. Field has been narrowed to 4. That one's rattling around. Oh,
it's like a magician. She pulled it from behind her back.
Very calm with that. It's 3-2 now to Castro. Yeah, she wasn't frightened at all. Jake Atkinson is broadcasting tonight on Astros radio. He's from Spring, Texas. That's hit hard on a line to right center field. Headed for the bullpen fence. Extra bases for Castro. The ball's dropped by Bruce. Castro's going to try to make third. Here's the relay from Phillips. It's offline, and he made it. Good throw would have had him for out number 3. And Castro makes it in. A double and an error on Bruce, his 6th.
Good swing of the bat on a hanging fastball there from Mike Leake. Belly button high. Castro blisters it into right center. Hit the ball hard last time up as well to first baseman. And yeah, probably an ill-advised dash there to third base. It worked out for Jason. He was breaking it down there, assuming double, but then the bobble and off he goes. And if the relay's online, he's probably out. And with 2 outs in the inning, it's really not worth it. And again, he got away with it. And it's hard sometimes. Your instincts kick in. You see the misplay out there. You go, okay, I got to take that extra base.
Right.
Just have to be mindful of the game situation.
Paredes has a 1-1 count now after that swing. And last night it was let's see, Nate Corrant was broadcasting last night. Breaking pitch comes in 1-2. Tonight Jake Atkinson. Saturday Alex Del Barrio of Mission, Texas. Sunday Crawford Jones, the Houston Cougar quarterback. Paredes takes a look at it. It's 2-2. Our condolences go to the family of Les Moss, former Astros pitching coach, JD's pitching coach. He passed away yesterday at age 87.
Sorry to hear that. Mossy was a beauty. What a wonderful guy.
Yes. Paredes takes, and that's up for ball 3. Full count to Jimmy. Fernando Martinez on deck.
He's showing some patience here in this at bat.
He really is. Fouls it back. 3rd straight full count for Mike Leake for a total of 54 pitches in this game. There is a vast difference in the bullpens of these 2 clubs this year. Atlanta leads the Phillies 4-1 after 5. And that's a very good job by Jimmy Paredes, working the walk and giving Fernando Martinez a chance to drive in runs. 2nd walk for Leake. This will be Leake's 25th pitch of the inning. Martinez grounded back to Leake in the 2nd.
Couple strikeouts to get this inning started. And then the double by Castro, and now a good patient at bat by Paredes. Martinez got a chance to inflict some damage here. Just a couple of home runs, but he hasn't had that many at bats. He's got plenty of sock.
When he gets the ball in the air to the middle part of the ballpark, it can fly. There's strike 1 to Fernando.
Hey, it gets your attention in BP. He hits some bolts.
He does.
He's got that power has not yet translated at the major league level. And he really hasn't had many big home run years in the minor leagues either. But he's certainly strong enough.
Castro and Paredes, the runners on at the corners. Foul, and it's 0-2. Now the Phillies have scored a couple in the 6th. They trail the Braves 4-3. Mike Minor pitching for Atlanta. Roy Halladay gone after 4 2/3 for the Phillies, allowing 7 hits, 4 earned runs. Ryan Howard hit his 10th for the Phils. Martin Prado number 8. Freddie Freeman number 19 for the Bravos. Charlie Manuel benched Jimmy Rollins for failing to hustle. And that's the 2nd time he's done that this year. He said, we have 2 team rules: be on time and play hard. If you don't play hard, you're going to suffer some consequences. That's certainly a difficult situation for Charlie Manuel with what his club has accomplished the last few years. To be way down in the standings 17.5 games behind Washington, trying to keep everybody on the same train because it's been such a difficult season for them to swallow in Philly. Far from expectations.
Yeah, and it's probably the kind of stuff that when they were winning, he let slide a little bit, but now that they're losing and there's a lot of concern in the community, I guess you would say, in Philadelphia, because they have had so much success. Charlie wants to make sure that he's doing his due diligence. Hey, don't point the finger at me. I'm doing everything I can to make sure these guys play.
Yep. There's another look at the move that will not be allowed next year.
Because next year you cannot fake a throw to any base without stepping off the rubber.
Do it all you want to, fellas. You've got one more month. They may not want to, but may be told to do it. Who knows? Toronto leads Tampa Bay 2-1, last of the 7th. Runner going. Here's the throw on Paredes and the tag, and he's out. To end the 3rd inning with no runs, a hit, an error, and a man left. 2-0 Reds.
Seven seasons of broadcasting Astros baseball. There will be a cocktail reception, entertainment, and dinner, and your sponsorship at this event benefits the Astros in Action Foundation. Reserve your table today at astros.com/community.
And that's Jake Atkinson. He is one of the top 4 finalists for the You Make the Call contest that we've been telling you about for the past couple of weeks. And Jake, I know you're out here tonight trying to land yourself a radio job. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing, how much fun you're having.
Yeah, they've just been chauffeuring me around here. I was here 2 weeks ago, and we interviewed the players and met with Larry Durker and watched the game. We actually caught 2 foul balls down there when we were here. So it's just been a great experience, a great opportunity. I mean, I graduated just a few weeks ago, and I found this thing online, and I found the application and stuff. And it just seems like it's too good to be true.
Well, you get to do a little play-by-play with the radio guys here in the 4th inning. You a little nervous? You excited? What's the mind frame going in?
It's not nervous. Luckily I've had a little bit of radio experience, and so I feel the first 2 rounds were really difficult. Now it's just kind of hopefully a walk in the park, no pun intended. But I met them earlier. They're really nice. Milo's already giving me a hard time, so I feel like I'm already initiated into the lingo or whatever.
All right, well, we don't want you to switch away from TV to go to radio, but he'll be there doing it in the 4th inning. And, of course, you, the fans, have a big say in who the final winner is. Just go to astros.com to vote. And voting for this next round opens up on September 5th after you hear all 4 contestants throughout the course of the weekend. Guys?
We're glad we got the first shot of him. Patty, you'll have to usher him down there. It's already the 4th inning. He's supposed to be on the air right now, isn't he?
He's on his way right now.
Okay,
great. He had to do this first. There are priorities. There's a pecking order.
Okay, you're right. Thank you. Scott Rowland at the plate with a 1-2 count. He bounced into a double play in the 2nd inning. Fernando Abad gets a roller and flips it on to first. That's out number 1. Well, it's a Friday night. The youngsters are out.
Creative use of cotton candy right there.
Yeah.
Number 6 for the Jets. Is that Sanchez? Is that his number?
I believe so.
Probably,
yes. Does he have a mustache?
Not Emerson Boozer.
Emerson Boozer.
Some names in sports just stay with you.
Yeah, they do. Deoner Navarro doubled and later scored. That's right on the edge for strike 1 from Fernando Abad.
Do you have any cake, Brownie?
Yes. MJ Trahan departing our staff, unfortunately, and there was a cake for her.
Wish MJ the best. Been part of the media relations staff here for 4 years plus.
She's done an excellent job. It's been good to work with her. It's 2 balls and a strike. It's going to be a lot of fun in the month of September. That big weekend with the former players coming back to get together again, swap some stories. A lot of good times ahead. Swing and a miss by Navarro. That takes the count to 2-2. They're coming from near and far. Have that reunion. A Walk of Fame's been a good addition to the ballpark. Tap to the left side. Tyler Green taking care of out number 2. That's just great to be able to see guys come back and get the recognition for outstanding careers. Not only that, but that plaque is on the sidewalk out on Texas Avenue, so fans will be able to look at those plaques for years to come as they buy their tickets to future games. Mike Leake put down a sac bunt to get Navarro to third base in the 3rd inning. That's ball 1. Barnes in right center. Makes it a 1-2-3-4 for Abad, and it's a 2-0 Cincinnati lead.
Get the All-America Jack Combo for only $4.99 plus tax at participating stores. Buy the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway miles per gallon. And by Mattress Firm. Save money, sleep happy. A couple seconds ago, I was checking the video replay of Corpus Christi's game at Frisco last night, and I saw George Springer's first Double-A home run, and he really crushed it. Went all the way over the roof of the left field grandstand.
Oh, boy.
He's off to a slow start with his batting average, but not last night. He was 3 for 5, including that homer.
Right here, it's 2-0. The Reds lead it. We've had a little action there in the skies inside Minute Maid Park.
Batman.
Fernando Martinez was at the plate when Jimmy Paredes was thrown out trying to steal to end the third inning. He gets a fresh count and looks at strike one here in the home fourth inning. Well, Oklahoma City swept Albuquerque to move to within 1.5 games of first place. No balls, 2 strikes. Albuquerque is the first place club, but Oklahoma City won last night 3-1. That's their 5th win in a row at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark in Oklahoma City. Brett Oberholzer went 7 1/3. He gave up 1 run, didn't walk anybody, and fanned 6. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You might be seeing him pitching for the Astros in September. He's allowed 2 runs or less in each of his last 5 starts for a 2.02 ERA. That's in the air to right field. This is going to go a long way off the bat of Fernando Martinez for a home run. Upper deck home run for Fernando. And it's 2-1 Reds as Fernando hits number 3.
That's that strength we were talking about when he was batting in the bottom of the third. There's that bat cut short when Paredes was caught trying to steal, so he gets another look at Mike Leake, and all the looks he got previously perhaps paying off because he jumped all over a hanging breaking ball from Leake. And again, watch the strength. It didn't look to me like he got a whole lot of lower body going there. It looked mostly arms. And into the second deck she goes.
Crowd is buzzing over that one as Matt Dominguez looks at ball 1. Majestic long ball. Now Leake gets a call there, and it's a 1 ball 1 strike count. Fernando Martinez now with 3 homers, 7 runs batted in for the Astros. He gets a run back on a 409-footer. And now a drive to left field. Dominguez is going to tie this game at 2. Matt Dominguez with number 1. Back-to-back home runs, and the Astros have tied it with Dominguez going deep, and that's his first major league homer.
Couple extra base hits last night for Dominguez. His first at bat tonight, he hit the ball with authority to right field, and now he goes deep. Low fastball, head out in front, no doubt about it. Astros taking a page out of the Reds playbook with a couple of big flies.
Yes. Now the crowd's buzzing even louder. Brandon Barnes takes ball 1. 3rd time this year the Astros have hit back-to-back bombs. It's 1-1 to Barnes, who singled to right field in the 2nd inning. Leake now has surrendered 21 long balls in 155 innings. It's a 2 ball 1 strike count, as Brett Wallace points it out to Matt Dominguez.
A lot of the home runs that Leake has allowed come early. You know, that's his MO. He attacks early in the count, tries to get ahead and then expand the strike zone.
Cozart in. He gets Barnes, 1 out. Big moment for Matt Dominguez. Last night he was just a homer shy of the cycle as he went 3 for 4. Well, he has a 2-game cycle here with the bomb. Had 9 homers at Oklahoma City. Fernando Abad backs away. There's strike one.
And when the Astros acquired Dominguez from the Marlins, and he had been one of their top prospects, the word we got was that his glove was well ahead of the bat in terms of his development. That may be coming in a hurry here.
Yeah, he was on a pretty good surge when they called him up. It's 1-2 for Abad. He's now 5 for his last 7. Wouldn't that be great if he could pick up the slack and provide some power at third base? The Astros have been looking at that position since trading Chris Johnson. And a strikeout takes care of out number 2. That's the 4th strikeout for Leake. Altuve up. He's 0 for 2. The Reds have gone 34-14 against the Astros since May of 09. That's the best record for any team against another opponent in the majors in that period of time. Astros with the back-to-back homers tying it here, and now it's Altuve trying to restart another rally. Getting the curve for strike one. Leake has thrown 75 pitches now. Homer Bailey goes tomorrow, the native of LaGrange. Little roller. Leake will find this to be easy. Tossing to Frazier. He gave up the 2 home runs to tie it. Fernando going upper tank for number 3. Matt Dominguez, number 1 in the majors, to tie this game at 2 after 4.
We build Mazdas. What do you drive? Looking ahead to game 2 of the series tomorrow night. Lucas Harrell, who has been the Astros' most consistent pitcher all season long, will take to the mound. Coming off a very good performance in New York back on the 26th, in which he threw 7 innings, allowed 1 run on just 2 hits, but did not figure in the decision. He's 10-9 on the year with a 3.92 ERA. He'll be taking on Homer Bailey, who's also 10-9. That's coming up tomorrow, and as Brownie mentioned, no TV for that game. If you want to see it, you got to be here. So go to Astros.com and get some tickets. That's your Mazda game break. Brownie, back to you.
Doug Brocail and Lucas Harrell talking right now as ball 1 came into Cozart. Cozart hit a 2-run homer in the 3rd. But now Fernando Abad gets a fresh start in a 2-2 game. It's a 1-ball 1-strike count. That one knocking the mask off Castro. The Astros have just traded outfielder Ben Francisco to Tampa Bay for a player to be named later. That's to left field. Martinez backing to play it off the wall, but it kicks back by him and goes toward the infield for an easy double for Cozart, who has a homer and a double now.
Fernando has snapped out some really good curveballs tonight, but he's also thrown some hangers up there. The Reds haven't missed many of the bad ones. Cozart hit a home run on a breaking ball last time up.
32 doubles for Cozart.
So Ben Francisco is gone.
Yeah, he's gone now. Heisey's the batter.
We hardly knew you, Ben.
Yeah. He came in the Toronto trade. Multiplayer deal. There's strike one to Heisey. He's 0 for 2. Along with Francisco Cordero, who's been injured, and several prospects. The J. Happ deal. There's a liner to right. Cozart being sent home by Mark Berry. The ball gets by the right fielder, Paredes. And the Reds lead it 3-2. Heisey drives in the go-ahead run. And we'll see how the official score rules it. A hit and an error. We'll check on the RBI situation as it's now 3-2 Reds.
That'll be an RBI for Heisey. Paredes new to the outfield. He's got to stay a little bit more under control, realizing he didn't have a real play there, having to go so far to get the ball. With Cozart rounding third base, he was not going to throw him out. So just make sure you field it cleanly and keep that man out of scoring position. Again, he's new out there, so it's going to take a while for him to settle in, understand what he needs to do.
That's 7 hits for the Reds. Abad is at 73 pitches. Brandon Phillips takes, and there's strike one. He's 2 for 2, a single up the middle, a double to left. Abad got his first major league win last season. He is 1-6 as a big leaguer. Fouled away, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. Mickey Story's warming up. Abad threw 71 pitches in that start at New York. He had reached 87 pitches in his final start for Oklahoma City August 19th. Green, Wallace, and Castro due up in the bottom of the 5th for Houston.
I guess this means Francisco would be eligible for postseason play with the Rays.
Good point. They got him before midnight Eastern time in Tampa Bay's case, so he is eligible for the postseason. Has to be there before September 1st. The Astros have really been short on right-handed hitters off the bench lately. Francisco has been down with the sore wrist, but the manager said tonight before the game that he was fine to play again, and just in time to get traded. Swing and a miss. Phillips is down on strikes.
First strikeout of the night for Fernando Abad, and it comes at a very opportune time. Phillips, who was 2 for 2, tantalized by that high heater, couldn't get to it. Just another greedy hitter with a man in scoring position.
Now Ryan Ludwig, who fouled out and walked. Well, with September 1st coming tomorrow, the Astros can dip into the Oklahoma City Red Hawks roster and replace Francisco. Perhaps somebody like Matt Downs comes back. There are other possibilities. Ludwig looks at ball 1. But before the game, Tony DeFrancesco said we need a backup shortstop because of the injury to Marwin Gonzalez, who hurt his leg on a play at first base last night. Those are the numbers for Abad with 78 pitches, 51 strikes. It's a 1-ball 1-strike count, so we could be seeing a couple of players coming on September 1st. But Tony said, well, you know, we hate to raid Oklahoma City because they're only a game and a half out of first in their division in the PCL. And he said, I used to, when I managed Oklahoma City, wonder, well, gee, you know, you keep taking players. He said, now that I'm on the other end, I understand a lot better.
Yeah, obviously, the big leagues always take priority. And, you know, to a lesser degree in a year like this, where the Astros at the big league level aren't doing a whole lot of winning, but still, it's minor league championships don't really mean all that much. They're fun. So you hate to play short at the big league level,
yeah,
just to give a team a chance to win down there.
Brian Bixler perhaps could be returning to be that backup middle infielder. The Astros now, I believe, have 2 spots open on the 40-man roster, so that's not an issue. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Matt Heidenreich was the winner for Corpus Christi last night. He went 5 innings, giving up 1 run in a 7-2 win over Frisco. With that first home run by George Springer that Greg talked about earlier. Springer went 3 for 5 in the game. Now it's a full count to Ludwig. Greenville Astros finished the year with the club's best record since 2004. They also led the Appalachian League in attendance for the 9th consecutive season. Heisey's the runner. In the air to shallow right. Paredes coming in. That's a hit in front of him. He's playing so deep. And the throw is cut off. And that's by design. Easier to come in than to go back on a ball. So that gave Ludwig a chance to land one in front of him for a single.
And Ludwig just punches this ball into shallow right field. Tough circumstance for the guy on the mound when you're breaking in a player in a new position, and he's made 1 error, and then a ball that maybe another right fielder would catch drops in, but it's kind of the nature of things right now.
Right. Part of the process. And the decision has been made to go with the younger lineup with an eye toward 2013. And the development process is occurring right here before your very eyes. Jay Bruce has popped up and walked. He rips one a long way toward the Astros bullpen in right center field. And the Beaumont native has hit a 3-run homer. Jay Bruce. Yeah. 28 home runs this year for Jay Bruce. 84 runs batted in. And that's a big one for the Reds. They now take a 6-2 lead.
He does a lot of damage against the Astros. Loves to hit here at Minute Maid Park in front of family and friends. He got a first pitch fastball, thigh high, right over the heart of the plate. And he did not miss it. That's playing a game with the Astros of anything you can do, we can do better.
Now a 6-2 ball game as Bruce goes deep. And he hit 2 in one series against the Astros in Cincinnati. He hit another one here June 1st. So that's his 4th long ball against Houston pitching this year. It's 6-2 Cincinnati. Back in a moment. 6, Fanning 14.
Take on Todd Frazier here, who's 1 out of 2, single, and lined out with the bases loaded back in the third, which at the time looked to be a very important at bat in this game, as Abad was able to limit the damage to 2 runs in that third. Could have been a lot worse. Now the Astros are going to have to come all the way back from 6-2 now. 6 runs charged to Fernando Abad tonight. He just didn't get away with the mistakes in this game against this lineup that he got away with against the Mets last time out.
4 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks, 1 strikeout for Abad. Foul back. He threw 84 pitches, 55 for strikes.
Just a matter of consistency. You know, he'd snap off 1 or 2 really good curveballs, then hang one. He'd locate a couple good fastballs and throw one over the heart of the plate. And against this kind of a club, you know, there's some teams you get away with that against, but this team, the way they're swinging it, you got to be pretty darn sharp.
Story on the curve gets a foul ball. Frazier lunging at that one. The Astros bullpen being taxed, and skipper Tony DeFrancesco looking for people to step up, as he said before the game tonight. He's talked with the relievers, told them that they are good pitchers. They need to remember that, get down about the fact that the club is not playing well, not dwell on the mistakes. There's a strikeout. That's out number 2.
Down goes Frazier.
Yeah.
Sorry, had to get it in. You never know when the opportunity is going to come up.
Well, we won't have one tomorrow, so get it in tonight.
That's right. The way he's been swinging it, hasn't been going down a whole lot.
No, he has not.
He's got to be so tired of hearing that. I wonder if the first time he got sent down to AAA from the big leagues, if the manager had the nerve. The GM calls the manager. Down goes Frazier.
I'm thinking not. There's
You gotta
ball
have
1.
a sense of humor in this game. He won't be going down anytime soon.
No.
It looks like he's here to stay.
Bet. Very strong year. The probable rookie of the year at this point. Rolling 0 for 2. Bangs another one to shortstop. Tyler Green over to first. In the 5th inning, the Reds explode for 4 on 4 hits, including a 3-run bomb from Bruce. They lead at 6-2. Trivia for you. Dusty Baker won a World Series in 1981 with the Dodgers, who were the series MVP.
Ooh, it was a multi.
Yeah.
Yes, Steve Yeager was one of them.
Okay. There were 3. How about Steve Garvey? And yeah, there were 3.
Bob Ebony Eyes Welch?
Maybe.
Ron Say?
Maybe. Lined off the bat of Tyler Green to the shortstop Cozart. 1 pitch, 1 out in the home 5th for Mike Leake. Leading 6-2. Green now 1 for 3.
Problem with this society.
What?
3 guys get MVP. Give everybody an award just for showing up and winning a World Series.
Okay.
Somebody had to stand out. Give it to Bert Hooton.
Brett Wallace walked and he struck out. He's seen a lot of pitches tonight. He's worked the count full both times.
It was a big World Series win for the Dodgers because the Yankees had beaten them in 78 and 79. And then the Dodgers finally got him in 81.
Strike to Wallace.
Yeager and Say are correct. We missed the 3rd one. Just looked it up, so I'm not going to tell. I'll let our viewers work on it a little longer.
It wasn't Garvey, huh?
No, it was not.
No balls, 2 strikes. And it wasn't Welch.
It was not.
One and 2.
Bert Hooton was 1-1 in that World Series with a 1.59 ERA.
He could have gotten it.
One Bert.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
Dusty hit .167. He was 4 for 24.
Struck him out.
Curveball's been a problem.
5 strikeouts for Leake. All right, let's see who those 3 MVPs were. Say, Guerrero, and Yeager. Pedro Guerrero left off.
Say was 7 out of 20 with a home run and 6 RBIs. Guerrero drove in 7 for 21. Garvey hit .417, 10 out of 24.
What's wrong here? Why didn't they vote for the Senator?
He didn't drive anybody in.
That's ball 1. Castro doubled in the 3rd inning. He 1 for 2. That's what they call him, the Senator, because he was kind of a politician. 2 balls, no strikes.
Yeager was 4 for 14. But he had 2 home runs.
Castro fouls it back, and it's 2-1. Mets shut out Miami on 5 hits, 3-0. R.A. Dickey goes to 17-4 with a 2.63 ERA. He beats Nate Eovaldi, and Ike Davis hits his 25th home run. Cubs beat the Giants today. The weary Giants coming from Houston after a night game, playing a day game in Chicago, and it was 6-4 Chicago.
We know that program. We took a run at that. Didn't work out so well for the Astros either.
No, it did not. Even though they had arrested Madison Bumgarner, he didn't pitch well, and he lost, so he's 14-9. And Chris Volstad, the winner, 2-9. Carlos Marmol got a 17th save. He's turned things around.
Well, Volstad 2 wins in a row. He went the calendar year between wins.
True. Anthony Rizzo hit his 10th. Alfonso Soriano his 24th for the Cubbies. Tap foul. So September 1, as the calendar flips over tomorrow. Wonder if there will be some last minute changes in rosters other than the Astros trading Ben Francisco to Tampa Bay tonight. There have been stories that some players have been claimed on waivers, so perhaps another deal or 2 will be coming down before later tonight. I think Juan Pierre was one of those guys. Struck him out. That's number 6. And after 5, it's 6-2 Reds.
introduce you to Deidre Samuels. She's with the Texas Department of Transportation, and this is a huge weekend for you guys and really for everybody, something very serious that needs to be discussed. And, of course, drinking and driving over the Labor Day weekend.
Yes, basically this is the end of summer. So basically people want to have that last celebration, and a lot of times it involves alcohol. So we want you to know that you need to designate a driver. We certainly want you to have a plan in place. It's okay to have a few, but make sure you designate a driver.
And, you were telling me some of the statistics and really why this weekend and the summer is such an important time. And, you've kind of chosen this venue because there's a lot of people watching, a lot of sports fans, and really to get the message across to how important it is to pay attention to this, especially now.
Yes, through the month of May through August, there were 362 fatalities just from drunk driving crashes. So certainly one is too many, but we want people to know that during the summer they love to kind of chill out and have a few, but to make sure, please designate a driver. Please have a plan in place before you go.
And you showed me a graphic here. I don't. You probably can't see it from here, but could cost up to $17,000 for a first-time DWI. So not only does it, you want to save lives, obviously, but you don't want to incur these kind of expenses.
Exactly. Certainly we don't want somebody to have to come and identify you at the morgue, but if you are in a drunk driving crash and you do not die or injure someone else, you could end up paying $17,000, and I don't want to lose $17,000.
Well, absolutely. Before I let you go, Deidre, I know fans, just anybody can participate to kind of help somebody out just by a simple text.
Yes, there's actually a promotion. If you text 77,000, save actually to 77,000, you are automatically entered to win a Honda Ruckus. And basically you're saying that you will be the sober driver.
Awesome. All right. Well, we appreciate you being out here. Hopefully this will save some lives, and feel free to use that text message, save some lives, and possibly win a car.
Thank you. Don't drink and drive.
All right. We wouldn't even think about it, guys.
Thanks, Patty. Quite a catch by Brett Wallace. Going way up to snare that liner off the bat of Deoner Navarro. Now it's Mike Leake. At no balls, 2 strikes. Mickey Story's retired 3 in a row in relief of Fernando Abad. Very good numbers for the pitcher. 264 average and 2 long balls. And the curveball got him. Second strikeout for Mickey Story. Cardinals are bracing for bad news on Rafael Furcal's right elbow. And initial exams reveal that he suffered damage to the ulnar collateral ligament yesterday.
Yeah, they put him on the DL.
Kozar takes a look at it. It's ball 1 to him. He has a homer and a double.
Fox Tracks is brought to you by TxDOT, reminding you to don't drink and drive, because if you do, you're going to go to jail. Unlike Mayberry, they don't give you the keys and let you let yourself out the next day like Otis.
No. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Aunt B's not going to show up with a blueberry pie and a basket of chicken for you.
See the story about the guy who was on trial and he left the courthouse. Now they're looking for him.
Yeah.
Foul back, 1-2.
A Bob Uecker statue has gone up at Miller Park.
They had a big ceremony there. Hank Aaron's wife, apparently, I don't know what song she sang, but it was a rousing rendition of it, whatever it was. I think it was Somewhere Over the Rainbow that she sang.
Yeah, she sang with Doc Severinsen, who of course was in the Tonight Show band on the Johnny Carson show, where Uecker made many appearances over the years.
Nice. Struck him out. Very good 6th inning for Mickey Story. The Reds lead it 6-2. Come up in the bottom of the 6th inning. Paredes, Fernando Martinez, and Dominguez against Mike Leake. Jimmy Paredes showing bunt, taking strike 1. He struck out and he walked in the 3rd. Baltimore down the Yankees 6-1. Miguel Gonzalez the winner, beating Roki Kuroda. Liner passed. A lunging Brandon Phillips into right field. Paredes is aboard. As we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, showing you the home run swing in the 4th inning of Fernando Martinez.
High breaking ball. High landing. Second deck. You hang it, he'll bang it.
Got the Astros on the board for the first time. Then Dominguez followed as the Astros hit back-to-back homers to tie it. Now Fernando coming up for the 3rd time, 1 for 2 tonight. And that's strike 1. Mark Reynolds hit 2 homers in the Baltimore win over the Yankees to give him 14. J.J. Hardy hit his 18th. Curtis Granderson, number 34 for New York. The Yankees' lead over Baltimore is 2 games. Throw goes over to first. The Orioles really getting it done. They are 18-9 for August. And with that win today, that's the most wins they've had at Yankee Stadium since '97. 5 in a season. Foul back. No balls, 2 strikes. They've got to be really getting excited in Baltimore. It's been a while since that club has been knocking on the door for a playoff berth.
They haven't been drawing well at home.
Interesting.
Yeah. Averaging 24, well, just under 25,000 at home.
One and 2 for Mike Leake. He's thrown 94 pitches. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wesley Wright's warming up for the Astros.
Nothing cooking in the Reds bullpen, but if Martinez were able to reach here, I would imagine Dusty would get somebody up.
Yeah. Their bullpen is very powerful. Bouncer first. Frazier takes a look at second, but will take the easy out at first. With a 4-run lead. 1 out. Paredes to second. And Matt Dominguez follows. He hit his first major league homer in the 4th after lining out to right in the 2nd. Wesley Wright getting ready. Brandon Barnes is on deck. Then the pitcher spot comes up. Leake delivers, and it's strike 1 for Mike Leake, going for his 5th career win against the Astros. Tomorrow night's Dusty Baker starter, Homer Bailey, is 4-0 lifetime against the Astros with a 1.33 ERA. He's 2-0 at Minute Maid Park with a 0.41 ERA. High bouncer, and that's a foul ball. Wow. Very close to extra bases. Andy Fletcher with a foul call.
No argument from Dan Radisson down there, the first base coach for the Astros. Dominguez with a bid for yet another extra base hit. It's not where it lands there. It's where it goes over the bag because it bounced fair in front of the base.
Popped up. Phillips out to shallow right field. 2 outs. And now it's Brandon Barnes. Barnes singled to right in the 2nd inning, grounded out. This will be the 100th pitch for Mike Leake coming up. R.A. Dickey went the distance in that shutout over Miami. Walking 3, fanning 7. Gave up 5 hits. He's 17-4 with a 2.63 ERA. Trying to get a Cy Young award. Ryan Bogusevic's on deck. Pitcher spot due up next. Brandon Morrow and Toronto edge Tampa Bay 2-1 in Toronto. That's ball 1. Being Jeremy Hellickson, and Casey Janssen got his 19th save. Edwin Encarnacion belted his 35th home run. Arizona and LA just getting started in Los Angeles. Aaron Harang pitching for the Dodgers. Strike 1-1. Dodgers have the golden opportunity, with the Giants having lost today, to pick up a game. If they do so, they'll be 3.5 games back in the NL West. San Diego leads 3-1 after 4 at Colorado. Carlos Quentin hit his 15th. It's 1-2 to Barnes. The Pirates are trailing at Milwaukee. It's 5-1 in the bottom of the 4th. Garrett Jones hit his 22nd for Pittsburgh. Corey Hart, number 25 for the Brewers.
Sam Holbrook fairly generous with that call from Mike Leake.
Yes, he was. It's 2-2. The appeal went down to Andy Fletcher. Mark Rogers pitching well tonight for Milwaukee against Pittsburgh. Jeff Karstens lasted 1/3 of an inning, allowing 5 hits, 4 runs. Jimmy Paredes at second base, 2 outs in the inning. Reds have out hit the Astros 9-7. Each club has an error. 4 left for Cincinnati, 5 for Houston. Now 3-2 as Leake misses with the curveball. Angels in Seattle about to get underway out west in Seattle. With Mike Trout getting ready to lead off the game, and what a scintillating year he is having as a leadoff man. Absolutely absurd numbers. Bounce third base line. Foul ball for Scott Rowland. Ball had been called foul by Joe West. The first base umpire, Andy Fletcher, made the call anyway at first, not realizing that. So the runners come back. Joe has clearly called it foul.
Tough call, because as you're bearing down on the play, all of a sudden Rowland passes in front of Joe West, and that's not an easy call to make.
No. Sam LeCure is warming up for the Reds. Mike Trout is the first player since Rickey Henderson in 1990 to have at least 100 runs, 25 homers, and 40 steals while batting leadoff. Ground ball, third again. This one clearly fair. Rowland with the play to get Barnes. No runs ahead, a runner stranded through 6-2 Reds. Astros first baseman getting up and timing his leap perfectly to snare that line drive hit by Deoner Navarro in the 6th inning. That one was headed for the right field corner. He took care of it for out number 1 for Mickey Story. Story has retired 5 in a row. And now with his spot due to lead off the bottom of the inning, he works one more. Chris Heisey's 1 for 3, an RBI single to right in the 5th. That's strike 1.
You're talking about Mike Trout. He has a chance to lead the American League in average slugging percentage and stolen bases. It's happened twice before. Ty Cobb and Honus Wagner.
Wow, that's a great stat. 0-2. What a sensational year. You know, he didn't come up until the 28th of April from the minor leagues. Castro's taking some shots to the mask tonight. Started to lean and swing, but he took it, and it's a 1-ball 2-strike count to Heisey. Atlanta leads the Phillies 5-4. Braves batting bottom of the 8th inning. Ugla and Freeman, along with Prado, have gone deep. That's off the plate for ball 2, and it's 2-2 to Heisey. Braves have won 8 of the last 9 they've played with the Phillies. They lead the season series 9-3. Phillies will be coming into Houston in September. Up the middle, not hit well, didn't sound good off the bat, but it's a single for Heisey, and he's 2 for 4. Patty?
Well, Astro fans, Chevy is proud to present Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. So tune in each Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on Fox Sports Houston, or visit hometownkids.tv for more information. Bill?
Well, that's the way to start your Saturday, and then settle in for college football the rest of the day and night, for those of you who are so inclined. 6-2 lead for the Reds. They now are in double figures with 10 hits. Heisey's aboard for Phillips. Phillips has 2 of those 10, a single and a double. He struck out his last time up. Runner goes, and no throw.
No chance. Slow curveball and a pretty good break for Heisey.
Steal number 6 of the year. Reds don't have to run very much. They're 14th in steals this year. That's their 75th. They do have a very high percentage, though. 75 and 98 tries. 15,287 the attendance tonight. Phillips fouls it. It's a 1-ball 1-strike count to Brandon Phillips. Brandon, 31 years old. He's from Raleigh, North Carolina.
They don't have any real base cloggers on their club. Most of their guys run well, even if they're not base stealers. They advance around the bases pretty well. Ludwig is not real speedy, but the rest of them move pretty well.
That's into right field, past a lunging Altuve. Paredes does not pick it up cleanly, and the run will score to make it 7-2. Looked like he was trying to peek at the runner Heisey, who wound up scoring on the single by Phillips.
And it'll just come with experience for him. The more he's out there, he'll realize what kinds of balls he has chances to make plays on and which ones he doesn't. And there's nothing lost there because he wasn't going to throw anybody out at home on this play. Soft line drive off the end of the bat, much like the last one out there that he fumbled. Don't be in such a big hurry. You're not going to throw anybody out there on that ball. You see Heisey's going to score easily. So, again, nothing lost there. Just needs to get a feel for when he has to come hard and risk a misplay, when he has to be overly aggressive and when just to come in and pick up the ball and throw it to second base.
Ludwig looks at ball one high. Has a single, a walk, and has scored a run. Phillips now has 3 hits. That was his 71st run batted in of the year. Mickey Story's had 24 pitches for his outing. That's a strike, and it's 1-1. It's Texas 5, Cleveland 3. The Tribe has scored twice in the bottom of the 9th. Still batting against Joe Nathan. Nathan and the Reds' Aroldis Chapman have the longest consecutive save streaks alive right now in the majors, 25 in a row.
Cleveland, after a fairly promising start, they've gone in the tank.
Boy, haven't they? It's been a rough month of September for Manny Active. Lost 5 in a row right now. 9 of the last 10. One and 2.
Ryan Dempster moves to 4-1 with that win. Pretty good trade after all.
Yeah, it did turn out, didn't it? If the Indians lose tonight, they tie the 1982 Mets and the 61 Washington Senators for the worst record in August since 1944 at 5-24.
They lost.
All right, they got it.
Congratulations. Uh-oh, there's the bat. He's back. The count. What's the count? It's pretty good wing speed there, Brownie.
We don't see many bats around here, do we?
No, that's why we keep showing it.
Okay.
We're kind of enthralled by that. It's new. You never know what you're going to see when you come to the ballpark.
4th strikeout for Mickey Story.
Little front door breaking ball. Probably not by design, but it caught the corner and he got his man.
Now a double switch will send Brian Bogusevic to center field. And Mickey Story will be leaving with Jay Bruce coming up. Bruce ripped that 3-run homer in the 5th inning off Fernando Abad. And Story's thrown 28 pitches. Wesley Wright's going to come in to make it a lefty on lefty confrontation. And Bogusevic goes into the 9th spot in the order. Barnes leaving the game, and the pitcher goes into the 8th position. We'll be right back with a score 7-2 Cincinnati. Wesley Wright is in the number 8 spot in the order. Reds lead at 7-2. They have a runner at first and 1 out, and it's Jay Bruce who ripped a 3-run homer in the 5th batting.
Jumped on a first pitch fastball from Fernando Abad. for that home run. He sees a slider here from Wesley. This has been pretty tough on left-handers this year. He's been a busy man, working for the 64th time now. Just 40 in the third innings.
Fouled away, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Tony DeFrancesco was talking about using the double switch and how it's necessary in the National League to go with it. Boy, he sure has used it a lot. This is his 11th game with the Astros, and he's used it numerous times, and for good reason. He could use some more able-bodied bench players, though, for those double switches. He said he and Jeff Luhnow had talked about it before the game today, so don't be at all surprised if the Astros have reinforcements by tomorrow night. 2 balls and a strike, especially with the trade of Ben Francisco tonight to Tampa Bay. They now are playing a man short for this game, so they will at the very minimum be replacing him for tomorrow night. And they also need a replacement for Marwin Gonzalez, it would appear, but there's really no need to put Marwin on the DL with rosters expanding tomorrow. 3 balls and a strike. So what that means is theoretically teams could have 40 players on the roster in the month of September. Can't remember any team doing that, but you might see 30, 32 on some clubs, maybe more than that, but fairly doubtful. You know, contending teams don't want to really call up a lot of people. There's a walk to Bruce. They'll call up, you know, the Reds will probably call up Billy Hamilton, the guy who's stolen what, 150 bases or something.
Some crazy number. Yeah, it's at the all-time minor league stolen base record. It was set years ago by Vince Coleman.
Reds have actually announced their call-ups. Frazier's batting. He's 1 for 3. They're going to call up Logan Ondrusek, Didi Gregorius, Dennis Phipps, Henry Rodriguez tomorrow. And Votto should be back. Bouncer back to right. He goes to Green, and Green to Wallace. 1-6-3 double play. That's the 7th inning with 1 run scoring on 2 hits and a man left. Middle of the 7th. It's 7-2 Reds.
On Friday, September 14th, before the 7:05 game, as the Astros take on the Phillies. 10,000 fans will receive commemorative Houston Astros fleece blankets presented by the Methodist Hospital System. Gates open at 5:30, so root now and buy tickets at Astros.com. And Bill, I'm sure it'll be nice and cool by then for those fleece blankets.
Well, you know, wouldn't it feel great tonight, Patty, to go home and curl up all wrapped up in a fleece blanket.
Yes, it would. I can't wait till September 14th.
Maybe build a fire when you get home tonight.
Yeah, cook up a little late night snack.
Counterculture. Sam LeCure is 3-2. His ERA 3.30. He comes in for the bottom of the 7th inning. Mike Leake in 6 innings allowed 7 hits, 2 runs, walking 2, fanning 6, and he is in line for win number 7 of the year. LeCure, a Longhorn, will be facing Brian Bogusevic leading it off in the 9 spot, and then Altuve and Green are due up in the Astros 7th inning.
LeCure, part of this very talented Reds bullpen. They're awfully tough to come back on, especially when you're down 5. LeCure typically throws a lot of strikes, keeps the ball down, has a good breaking pitch.
Bogusevic first up, and he looks at ball 1 from Sam LeCure, who was born in Jefferson City, Missouri, the capital city of that state. Then he went to the University of Texas, married a former Longhorn softball catcher. Throws a strike there to even the count at 1-1. He was a 4th round pick of the Reds in 05. Sam, 28 years old. This is his 4th outing against the Astros this season. So far he's given up 1 run in 4 innings. He got a win here in Houston in a wild one, 12-9 back on June 2nd. Popped up. Brandon Phillips did not catch it. Zach Kozar did. Good decoy by Brandon, though. He's bored. That's out number 1.
Just letting everybody know, had it come to him, he would have been prepared to make the catch.
Yes, he did.
So LeCure, he was born in the capital of Missouri.
Yeah.
And then went to UT in Austin, the capital of Texas.
Okay. We'll see what
he's
angle
not
you're working.
in the capital of Ohio. That's Columbus.
Good point. How many state capitals? Never mind. Knocks it down and throws out Altuve. That's out number 2. Just offhand, how many do you think you could name?
I used to be pretty strong in that Jeopardy category, Brownie.
All right, we'll say 30.
I'm probably more in the. I used to know them all, but I'm probably in the high 30s now. I'd go with.
That's very, very good. 2 outs, and it's Tyler Green. Green is 1 for 3. What is the capital city of South Dakota?
I think it's Pierre, isn't it?
Ooh. Yes. Outstanding. Wow. That is impressive stuff.
Now, the capital of Kentucky, do you pronounce it Louisville or Louisville?
Depends on where you live.
You call it Frankfurt. It's a trick question.
That was good, too. I like that.
Don't fall for that one, Brownie.
I just did. For the 9,000th time. Liner goes foul. And it's 0-2. That's good work, JD. I'll take Hurricanes for 60.
Weather related or Miami?
I don't think I'd do well at either one of them. Strike, and that is quick work in the 7th inning for Sam LeCure. It's 7-2 Reds.
Summer Drive sales event now through September 3rd. By AT&T, rethink possible. And by Carfax. Show me the Carfax. Ask your dealer or go to Carfax.com. Sam Houston did not have that opportunity. He had to ride a horse. Hey, I got a positive note for you tonight since not too much is going well. It was on this date in 1990 that the Red Sox made the trade with the Astros. The Astros getting Jeff Bagwell. So there's a positive memory.
For Larry Anderson. And Jeff Bagwell played his first major league game in Cincinnati in 1991. Scott Rowland is 0 for 3, and his final at bat was off Rob Dibble in the 9th inning. Dibble was throwing somewhere around 100. They threw one and he knocked Bagwell down, and then Jeff got up and either the next pitch or a few pitches later hit a line drive up the middle, caught by the shortstop. And Art House said, that's when I knew we really had a good player on our hands. It's 1-1. Wesley Wright got the double play ball in the 7th inning. Mickey Story worked 2, gave up 2 hits and 1 run with no walks and 4 strikeouts.
That was the year after the Reds won the World Series in 1990 with the Nasty Boys at the back end of the bullpen.
Well, what a bullpen that was.
Jeff Brantley right next door working for the Reds. He and Dibble and Norm Charlton. That's kind of similar to this club.
Yes.
That team had good starting pitching. This team has good starting pitching, but they had that lockdown pen. Have a lead after 6. It was see you later. It's going to be interesting, assuming the Reds get into the postseason, what Dusty Baker does with his rotation. Cueto and Latos 1 and 2 out of the chute, but it will be interesting to see who he calls on for that 3rd start.
You were not involved in the dinner conversation tonight because you were working. That's flared foul. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Asking that question of some of the Reds broadcasters, what's your playoff rotation? They said, well, we're not sure. Not sure what Dusty's going to do. Cueto would be the game 1 starter, but they said Homer Bailey is a lot better on the road than he is at Great American Ballpark. So he might just pitch Homer Bailey, because the way it stacks up now, the Reds have, let's see, they have the best record. They're 606. Yeah. No, they are 2 percentage points behind Washington unless Washington lost today.
They did not. Washington beat the Cardinals.
Okay, but it's neck and neck. It could go either way. Let's say the Reds wind up with the best record. Then they would play the winner of the wild card playoff, which means they would open on the road.
Oh, that opens on the road?
Yeah. And that's what they're saying. Boy, this is not a sure thing here.
Oh, 2 road, 3 home, right?
Yes. And they didn't like that very much. Rowland takes the lead off Wong. So they're just saying how difficult that is. That, yeah, you do get, the 3 at home after 2 on the road. But what if you're down 0-2 when you go home?
Yeah. You start to panic a little bit.
Well, because Dusty's on the road against the other team's number 1, maybe. It depends on the wild card playoff and whether the number 1's available. But that could be no cakewalk. So they're not sure. Miguel Cairo's on deck with Navarro batting. That's smoked on a line to center field. Bogusevic picks it up, and it's rolling to second on a single by Navarro. Navarro is 2 for 4, and he blistered a line drive for one of those outs.
Like Johnny Bench here tonight.
Yeah. Somebody wants to talk. Okay. And now it's going to be Cairo pinch hitting for Sam LeCure. LeCure had a 1-2-3 7th inning with a strikeout. Cairo has hit very little, 163, 21 hits and 129 at bats. He's a good glove man, but you'd better be if you're hitting 163. Check swing call goes the Reds' way. 1-0. And it's Alfredo Simon, who used to be known as Alfredo Simon, warming up in the bullpen.
Well, I think that guy from American Idol got so much bad press, he decided to become Simone instead of Simon.
I think so.
Or he went the other way. Maybe he's enamored with that guy. So now he's signed.
He might have been enamored with him. The Reds are 5 for 7 with runners in scoring position in this game. That's a strike to Cairo, and it's 1-1.
Cairo 4 out of 21 in the pinch so far this year.
Cairo's a handy guy. He's made 12 starts at first since Votto was injured. Because Roland was out for a time too, and Frazier was playing some third base. Cairo's made 9 starts at third. He plays second. He's done that. And he's been on some good teams down through the years. Fernando Rodriguez is warming up for the Astros. Cairo, 38 years old. He's from Venezuela. Last year he played quite a bit, 245 ABs for the Reds. There's Fernando warming up. Cairo's been with Toronto and the Cubs, Tampa Bay, Chicago, St. Louis, Yankees, Mets, Seattle, Philly. Been around for a while, hasn't he?
You're like Kevin Bacon of baseball. Everybody's played with him.
Yeah. 2 balls and a strike.
Not quite as much as Dotel, but there's still a lot of tags on that suitcase.
What is Dotel's record now? About 13 teams?
13 now.
13 teams.
But 13 different teams. That's a major league record.
Boy. Cairo has played first, second, third, short, left, and right in his career. 16 years. And he's been in 5 playoff series. Two balls, 2 strikes. The Nationals win was their 80th. The Reds already have 80. They were the first major league team to reach 80 victories this year. Bouncer goes foul, and recent stories indicate that Steven Strasburg has been told he'll make 2 or 3 more starts, and that's it.
Gio Gonzalez for the Nationals tonight pitched a shutout. 5-hitter, punched out 8, beating St. Louis.
Well, against that lineup,
that's pretty impressive, isn't it?
You bet it is. That was his second complete game of the year. So if they don't have Strasburg for the playoffs, Gonzalez becomes their number 1.
Or Zimmerman.
Zimmerman could be their number 1. You know, Edwin Jackson looked good yesterday too. It's going to be a tough team to beat in the playoffs even without Strasburg, but with him, that's got to be the talk around the Capitol right now.
The noise level's going up on that too, surrounding Mike Rizzo.
There's a looping hit to left field. A go ahead from Mark Berry, and here's the throw to the plate, and the run scores. Roland comes home to make it 8-2. Throw was offline. Cairo with a pinch RBI single. Now Tony D is out to the mound.
Cairo has to be appreciative of that aggressive send by Mark Berry to get him an RBI with nobody out. Berry sees Martinez running toward the line to get that ball, and that's usually an indicator for a third base coach. If a guy has to take an angle to the ball, it's tough for him to get off a good, accurate throw home. If he's squarely behind it, then a little bit tougher for the base coach.
Wesley Wright leaving. Fernando Rodriguez coming in. 8-2 Cincinnati. Back in a moment.
At 12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Astros.com for details. Changes, Bill Brown.
Yes, we've had a lot of those in this game, Patty, and now Fernando Rodriguez comes in to do the pitching. He's 1-9 with a 5.96 ERA. Took loss number 9 in last night's game, JD.
Yeah, he surrendered 3 runs on 3 hits in 1 inning of work. Walked a man, had a strikeout. It's an awfully rough go for Fernando this year.
Wilson Valdez will be the pinch hitter for Zach Cozart. Cozart had a 2-run homer and a double. He scored twice, going 2 for 4. Valdez comes up with a 203 average, no homers, 12 runs batted in. He's had 143 at bats. He's 1 for 11 with an RBI as a pinch hitter. Runners at first and second, nobody out for Fernando Rodriguez. This is his 14th appearance in the month of August. In the air to right field, Paredes backing on it with the grab. Runner at second tags Navarro. He goes to third on out number 1. And Chris Heisey comes up.
As we continue to watch Jimmy Paredes out there as he tries to settle in the outfield, the one thing we know, he's certainly athletic enough to cover plenty of ground to play the outfield, including center field, where the hope is ultimately he can transition to. And he's got plenty of arm too. He's got a right fielder's arm.
And we saw that when he played third last year. He's going to go to winter ball to work on center field. Heisey is 2 for 4, an RBI, 2 runs scored. That's strike 1. The Angels got 3 at Seattle. The Mariners responded with 1, and it's 3-1 Angels after 1. Kendrys Morales hit his 18th homer. Oakland is scoring 4 times in the bottom of the second to lead Boston 4-0 in Oakland. Bouncer on 1 hop. Dominguez to second, and Altuve to first. Safe at first. The ball dropped anyway. And run number 9 scores. Navarro comes in to score as Heisey will get the RBI, his second of the night and 29th of the year, to make it 9-2.
Good turn there by Altuve, but clearly safe at first base, even if Wally's able to catch that throw.
Nine to 2 lead for the Reds, and it's Brandon Phillips. He has 3 hits and 4 at bats. The Reds came into this game against the Astros having scored 52 runs in 9 games this year. And they won 7 of the 9. In the air to right, Paredes comes in. In the 8th, the Reds tack on 2. On 2 hits, they leave a man, and they're up 9-2. For 2 to a 2012 MLB World Series game presented by Scotts, the official lawn care company of MLB. We have changes for Dusty Baker with his club up by 7, 9-2. The Astros are coming up in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Dusty's moving some players around and getting a new reliever in the game. Alfredo Simon has won 2 and lost 2 with an ERA of 2.52. He's walked 19 and fanned 46 in 50 innings of work.
Reds able to push the lead here to a comfortable margin, so Dusty Baker feels really good about tonight with what he's gotten from his hitters and the fact that he can rest his main guys out there in the pen.
Miguel Cairo is staying in to play first base. Valdez, after pinch hitting for Cozart, is the shortstop. And Todd Frazier has shifted across the diamond to play third, while Drew Stubbs is the new center fielder. Wholesale changes for Dusty Baker. There's Frazier, and he'll probably do this some from now on out, with Joey Votto due to return tomorrow night. Frazier can play third and first. Brett Wallace comes up in the bottom of the 8th inning. He's 0 for 2 with 2 punch outs, and he has a walk. Simon delivers. There's strike 1 at 94 for Alfredo Simon, formerly with Baltimore. He was signed originally by the Phillies in '99. He faced the Astros in Cincinnati in late April. It's 1-1. Pitched scoreless baseball for an inning and a third, but he had inherited a runner who scored on a single or a double by Jose Altuve. Castro and Paredes to follow here. 1-2.
Fastball, slider, curveball, split finger pitch for the big righty.
He's had plenty of rest, JD. His last outing was a week ago against St. Louis. Still 1-2. He went 3 innings in that last outing, allowing 4 hits and a run. This Reds bullpen with a 2.76 ERA was tied for the best major league bullpen ERA with Tampa Bay coming into play tonight. 25 wins, 17 losses for Reds relievers. That's ripped on a line toward the right field corner. That'll go to the wall. Jay Bruce plays it, throws in towards second, and whoa! Wallace is just safe with a head first dive. The arm of Jay Bruce made it interesting.
Yeah, he's an equalizer out there. Better not let up if you're going to try to take an extra base on Jay Bruce. Ball hit hard and gets to the wall in a hurry, and Bruce plays it well and then unleashes a good strong throw, and I don't believe the tag was ever applied. Trying a little sweep tag there. Wallace able to beat a good call.
Rob Drake with a call. And Beaumont Palmer almost gunned him down, huh?
I don't think he did get him on the back of the arm, but apparently Wally had his hand on the bag.
Very strong arm.
Love the Drake.
Strike 1 to Castro. He doubled to right center in the third. He's 1 for 3. Well, that Oakland club continues to be very interesting. That's a shot into right field. Wallace will be a stop sign from Dave Clark as the throw comes into the plate on the fly from Jay Bruce. On the single by Castro, he's 2 for 4, and it's first and third, nobody out.
A little bit of a hanging split finger pitch there from Simon.
Simon says first and third, nobody out. And Paredes coming up. Paredes has walked and singled in this game. Now that Oakland club should be fascinating to watch here in the final month of the season. Leading at home 4-0 over Boston. Brandon McCarthy on the mound after 2. That's out to left center field. Drew Stubbs over to his right, with Wallace tagging at third, and he'll waltz home to make it 9-3. Sacrifice fly Paredes. That's his 3rd run batted in. Wallace scores, and now it's going to be Fernando Martinez, who hit an upper deck homer to right in the 4th. He's 1 for 3. Tap foul. There's strike 1. Yeah, Oakland came into the night 4.5 games in front of the Angels in 2nd place in the AL West, 4 behind Texas.
They had the lead for the wild card.
Yeah.
1 game better than Baltimore, 2.5 ahead of Tampa Bay.
Liner Valdez. 2 outs. AT&T U-verse brings you this reverse replay. We take a look back at Matt Dominguez hitting a homer to tie this game. First major league long ball from Matt Dominguez in the 4th inning. Back-to-back homers. Fernando Martinez has just connected prior to that. Wilton Lopez warming up for Houston with 2 outs. It's Dominguez batting again. He's 1 for 3. This one gets by the catcher. Ought to hit his right foot, in fact. And Castro advances to 2nd base. A wild pitch for Simon.
Coming into play this season, Matt Dominguez was regarded as the number 4 prospect in the Marlins organization, according to Baseball America. MLB.com had him as the number 2 prospect.
The Astros,
of all the players the Astros acquired, I guess, you know, at least according to those publications, that's the highest ranked guy they got.
Okay. They called him up when he was hot at Oklahoma City. It had a very good week.
I guess the highest ranked within that particular organization. And I guess if you stacked them all, you know, I don't know how they would shake out. And bottom line is, it just matters how they play.
Valdez takes care of out number 3, and it's 1 run, 2 hits, and a man left. Moving to the 9th, 9-3 Reds. Starting pitchers for tomorrow. The game is not televised. Homer Bailey and Lucas Harrell will be the starters. Bailey's 10-9. Harrell is 10-9. Bailey's ERA 4.24. Harrell 3.97. Should be a good matchup tomorrow night at 6 o'clock on Astros Radio. With Milo Hamilton, Brett Dolan, Dave Raymond. And we've got all kinds of folks bringing you the game tomorrow night. Wilton Lopez at 5-3 with a 2.45 ERA. Comes in to pitch the 9th inning.
Why not? Somebody's got to pitch the 9th inning.
Yep. Scott Moore's the left fielder.
Somebody's got to play left field.
So Lopez is in. Fernando Martinez is number 6 spot in the lineup in this double switch. Drew Stubbs at 221 with 14 homers has 39 runs batted in. He's in the cleanup spot right now, batting in Ludwig's position in the order. And the former Longhorn takes strike 1. Stubbs, a premier defensive player. Hits this one in the air to left center. Bogusevic backing on it. That's 1 out for Wilton Lopez. And Jay Bruce will come up.
Kind of a Longhorn flavor to this night with LeCure pitching. Stubbs. We had Shane Reynolds on.
Very much so. And Bruce drilled the 3-run homer in the 5th. He also has drawn 2 walks tonight. Infield is shifted around, playing him to pull. That's ball 1.
Bruce, like a lot of slugger, runs hot and cold. When he's in a funk, he'll swing and miss a lot, give away at bats. But when he gets hot, boy, he's awfully tough and always dangerous. Even when he's struggling, he'll run into one every now and then. He's so blasted strong.
He leads all active players under the age of 26 in homers with 128, including the 1 tonight. He and another Beaumont, Texas native are the only players in Reds history to have 20 homers in each of the first 5 years. A guy named Frank Robinson. 2 balls and a strike. The Reds traded him to Baltimore because they said he was an old 30. That didn't work out too well.
Yeah, that's one they'd like to have back.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Bagwell with the play.
Gonna go Baggy.
Phillies got a run in the 9th to tie Atlanta. Now they've scored 3 in the 10th. And the Braves are batting in the bottom of the 10th, trailing the Phillies with Jonathan Papelbon on the mound, 8-5. John Mayberry Jr. hit his 13th homer. Eric Kratz, number 8. Bouncer rolls up the line and foul. Still 2-2. Billy Hatcher. He's been an Astros fan favorite down through the years. Hit that big home run in the 1986 League Championship Series in Game 6 off that left field foul screen off Jesse Orosco in the 14th inning. 3-2.
Too bad he didn't hit just one more in that game. That would have been nice.
Really. Would have been very nice. What would have happened had there been a Game 7 with Mike Scott on the mound? Crack bat. It gets out to Tyler Green. Whoa, the umpire almost got in the way there. Rob Drake. And Tyler Green was chasing him as he threw him out.
You know, the defensive team puts a shift on. The umpires have to shift too. Drake wanted to get a good look at that play. High stepping it out of there. Love the Drake.
Where do you want me to go?
Never seen an umpire blitz before.
Frazier took ball 1. Frazier's 1 for 4. It's 2 balls, no strikes.
You mentioned Frank Robinson. Today is Robbie's birthday.
Didn't know that.
77.
Is he working in the commissioner's office again?
I don't know what he's doing.
Okay.
Hopefully he's just enjoying his retirement.
Yeah. 2 balls and a strike. I hear Alan Ashby's coming back for that big weekend in September.
Jays are going to let him off?
Yep. 2-2 the count.
That old 31-year-old that the Reds traded to Baltimore in 1965 hit 49 jacks and drove in 122 for the '66 Orioles.
Was that the year he won the Triple Crown?
I'm guessing.
I think so.
I didn't know he won a Triple Crown.
I think so.
I know he won an MVP in both leagues.
Okay. Dominguez makes the play, and it's 9-3 Reds.
Joey Harrington will get you ready for kickoff. The Heisman Trophy frontrunner Matt Barkley and the #1 ranked USC take the first step on the road to a national championship as they take on Hawaii. The premiere of college football Saturdays this week on Saturday at 6 p.m. Central, only on Fox. Guys?
Patty, we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and it's Scott Moore to lead it off for Houston. The Reds are up 9-3. They've out-hit the Astros 13-9, each club with an error.
To set the record straight, you were correct, Browning. Craig Robinson did win the Triple Crown in 1966. And then Yastrzemski the very next year did it again.
You know what was interesting is that Robinson hit .316 in '66, and that led the league.
It's also interesting that they went back-to-back years, and there hasn't been one since.
Very. Yeah, Yastrzemski hit .326 in '67. That led the league.
And then didn't he lead the league the very next year, hitting like .301 or something like that?
I think you're right. Yep.
'68 was the first year of the pitcher.
Oh boy, wasn't it though?
Here Gibson had the 1.12 ERA.
Altuve will be up third in the inning. There's the toss from Cairo to Simon. It's out #1. Now that year that Gibson set the ERA record in 1968, he beat Larry Dierker and the Astros in his final start in St. Louis 1-0. Ryan Bogusevic popped up in the 7th inning.
National League has not had a Triple Crown winner since Joe Medwick back in 1937.
Boy. Think it'll happen anytime soon?
Pujols flirted with it there a couple times.
True. Yeah, it's hard to find a guy with the whole package, isn't it?
Gary Sheffield, I think, with '92 with the Padres, made a run at it.
That's true. You're right.
Guess you have to think about Trout now in Anaheim.
I think you would.
The way he's going.
That's bounced, and Phillips takes it over to first, 2 outs.
Braun's capable, isn't he? Ryan Braun?
He is. Yeah. He could do that. 2 down now, and it's Altuve. He is 0 for 4 tonight. And his batting average is at, let's see where it is up there. .294. He's fallen a few points in recent days. There's so many numbers on that scoreboard, it's hard to find it, JD. Just numbers galore up there. I was looking in the wrong place. There's ball one. There's where it is, right there in the middle, but I was looking in the bottom right where they have all those other numbers on batter stats. They don't have average down there.
Ooh, Jose looking to leave. A little frustrated taking 0 for 4, 9-3 game. Why not?
He went 1 for 14 in the Giants series.
Trying to take out a little of his frustration.
One and two. Milwaukee's leading Pittsburgh 5-2. Bottom of the 7th at Milwaukee.
Swing and run.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Tyler Green's on deck. We'll be back on the air Sunday. And that'll be a Bronson Arroyo Bud Norris matchup. Sunday at 1:05 here. Astros Live comes your way at 12:30. Foul back. It's still a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Detroit beat the White Sox 7-4. So Arroyo will go Sunday in the finale of this homestand. Then the Astros are off to Pittsburgh. They have a day game Monday for Labor Day. 3-game series there. A day off in Cincinnati. And next weekend, a rematch of this series in Cincinnati.
Tough stretch here for the local 9, getting the Giants, the Reds, the Pirates, and the Reds in succession.
Boy.
Started with the Cardinals on the last road trip, and a little bit of a break in catching the Mets in New York. They're not a very good club, but I mean, everybody's good when you're having the year the Astros are having, but this current group of teams are facing. Well, there's a youngster there, and when they call him up.
Well, he came up from Lancaster actually earlier today. No, just kidding. Somebody's kid. I don't know.
I'm not so sure.
He'll be
get him in that bat.
He's down to start Thursday night.
That young man in there. He's ready to roll.
Fastball curve change.
He throws about 96.
Likes to sink it. Still 3-2. Can start or relieve. Ouch.
Yeah, it's tough when you're going bad at the plate and then you do that.
The Reds will be 81-52 if they win this game. And for the month of August, they'll tuck away a 19-11 record. The Astros would be 5-22 in August if they don't turn this around in a major way. 2 hopper to short, and that'll do it. As the Reds win the opener of this series 9-3, they are now 8-2 against the Astros this season. The Astros have lost 6 in a row, and the Reds are 4-0 on this road trip. Dusty Baker's club 1 step closer to a playoff spot. Final score: Reds 9, Astros 3.